You have a film that you're just now wrapping up in post, Haunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haunt.
Yes.
Could you describe what that's about?
Yeah. It's so you're right at the same time as A Quiet Place. So A Quiet Place was kind of our elevated genre movie with movie stars and whatever, and then Haunt was our kind of like dark, scary, awful roller coaster ride, and it was so fun to do. We did it with Eli Roth produced it, and it's about a group of college kids who go haunted housing during the fall, during Halloween time, and end up in a very scary place. But it was very fun. It's a cool throwback to John Carpenter for sure.
So you did this independently now.
Yeah.
We did it with Eli Roth, Todd Garner at Broken Road, Nickel City Pictures here, Affinity. So it was kind of this collective of producers that just really wanted to make like a scary movie, and it was a fun opportunity because we sought out collaborators that weren't necessarily steeped in the horror genre. So like our production designer is this incredible genius, Austin Gorg, who worked on like La La Land as an art director, Neon Demon, like these beautiful movies. And being able to collaborate with an artist like that, you always find this intersection between the story that you think you're going to tell and what they're bringing to the table that kind of elevates it to a whole different level. And it's just beautiful handshake.
Recently, it was announced that you're going to help this neophyte writer, Stephen King, I think.
Yeah, no one's heard of him.
No one's heard of him. By the way, he liked Quiet Place.
Yeah.
He tweeted
He
it.
did, yeah.
He did,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
That must have been
shocking.
kinda nice.
That was very
That was
cool.
incredible.
Yeah,
Very
but he wrote a short story. It's Boogeyman, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Tell us about that.
Yeah, and his collection of Night Shift, his short stories, like he wrote this story called The Boogeyman, and it like predates It, I believe, and it just was like this scary story that always stuck around in our heads. And these incredible producers, 21 Labs, who did like Stranger Things and Arrival, they were kicking it around as well. And we had been talking about the story for a while about how everybody knows what the Boogeyman is. But what's also great is the short story is a jumping off point to do like another scary movie, but hopefully something that's also emotional and kind of hits those chords where you think about a movie like E.T., where it's about an alien, but really it's about a family going through divorce and this kid not understanding his place in the family and needing somebody to be there for him. And being able to combine genres like that is one of our favorite types of filmmaking. So that's what we're trying to do with the Boogeyman right now. We're currently writing it.
Is there any conversations with the man himself?
He is very busy.
Writes every day, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He had that great quote. He said, asked him, so what scares you? He said, every time I start a new story.
It is terrifying.
So I know that you like a lot of different genres, but horror is one, obviously, that you're quite familiar with. What do you think is going on there? Why is that so appealing right now? It seems like it's a pretty hot genre. What is that, do you think?
Scary times.
Scary times.
People have a lot of
Deep
anxiety.
subtext there.
Yeah, and I think people need a cathartic release when they go to the movies. And I think one of the cool things about the genre throughout the history of cinema is it's always been an opportunity to comment on what's going on at the times. So like obvious examples of this would be like Night of the Living Dead, had a lot of kind of social commentary about racism, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers had a lot to say about communism, and not that. And I don't even think if you ask those filmmakers like, were we trying to say something about racism, they would say no, not really. We're just telling a story, but you can't help but be influenced by the times that you live in, and so
it's also a great place to cut your teeth as a filmmaker, because usually horror films are done for a cheaper budget, and so you look at a movie like The Witch or It Follows, like those are films that don't require big budget, and the spectacle can be very smart, and it's really about characters being stuck in these unique environments and atmospheres that the filmmakers are providing.
It's the only genre where the genre itself is the star. That you go to a horror movie just because of the horror movie, not because of who's in it. And like A Quiet Place, Paramount was going to make that with no movie stars. They actually didn't even have any intention of casting giant movie stars. It just kind of all fell together, and it was fun. But yeah, so it's a great. There's no barrier to entry.
It's also like horror is a great release valve for people, and I feel like the more that you're watching things on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, like you're not having that communal experience. And I hope that like people are driven out of their homes a little more to see movies that are in genres like that because you want that communal experience. Like I know when we were watching Quiet Place at South by Southwest, like the best experience we've ever had watching with an audience because you feel all the movements of the movie, and it's really like an intangible feeling. But it's something where you know when the movie's working and not working, and when people are just holding their breaths. It's like the best experience ever. And we grew up going to movies like that on Friday nights and Saturday nights just for that experience.